Happy Spookies, everybody. I hope you're all doing well, having the most excellent spooky month. And today we're going to talk about a brand new found footage screen life movie called Deadstream. Now, it's only streaming on Shudder right now. It was directed by Joseph and Vanessa Winter. But I definitely always say this, get Shudder. It is definitely worth it. Trust me, it is. They have such great movies on there. Not just movies, documentaries, freaking TV original shows, stuff like that. Come on, dude. And here is another prime example of one. Dude, this is a great found footage movie. Honestly, I might have to revamp my top 10 list. Maybe add this one on there because it is so clever. It is so freaking funny.
This is Sean Ruddy coming to you live from Death Manor.
For 7 years now, you have watched me face my fears for your entertainment.
This is the most haunted house in the United States.
Mildred lived here for 8 years in this house. She hung herself at the end of this hall.
Now, the movie has a very small cast. The two people we're going to focus on is going to be Joseph Winter and Melanie Stone. This is all about a disgraced YouTuber, a controversial YouTuber by the name of Sean Ruddy, can't recall the name, but his YouTube channel is Wrath of Sean. He's known for doing stunts involving things he's afraid of. And unfortunately, in the last few months, he did a couple of controversial stunts involving getting smuggled across the border. I believe he got in a fight with a homeless man, a few other stuff that basically backfired, got him demonetized, and a lot of people weren't too happy with this guy to the point where he had to make an apology video. And if you look at the very beginning when he shows the thumbnail for the apology video, the like and dislike ratio just shows you how much people just think this apology video was bullshit. But somehow he managed to get his sponsorship back, and he's gonna try to come back with a bang. He's gonna go ahead and stay at this abandoned house. He calls it Death Manor. And of course, he's gonna go ahead and live stream this via, I think the website is called Livid, but just think of it as a Twitch site. And he has to live stream it all for one night. He's got one rule that he cannot break or he will not get paid. If there's any noise, if he sees anything, he has to go investigate. Unfortunately, my dude here unleashes an evil. It is all caught on tape. Look, this is seriously one of the funniest movies I've seen in a very long time. I've watched this movie 4 times, dude. I am not joking. You ever like show somebody a movie that you've already seen and you just find it so much funnier? I found like the third time I watched it, I finally got to show my girlfriend it. And I was just laughing even harder. I don't know why. I just experienced it with somebody else. The story of this movie is so good. And I think what makes it great is the leading role of Sean Ruddy. And aside from the great comedic moments in this movie, it feels very original. This movie, in my opinion, along with movies like, Dash Cam, Spree, Hose, Followed, stuff that is screen life, is taking found footage to the next step. And I absolutely am here for it. Because if you're somebody that frequents Twitch like I do, it was so immersive, this movie. There's parts where he like interacts with chat and he's just talking to his chat. He's asking chat for help.
Are you still with what's her name? No, shh, we're here.
He has chat look up things for him, and it's just like that right now with Twitch. Like if you're somebody on there and you follow a Twitch streamer, often they're always asking chat for help and stuff like that. So just that aspect alone just grasped me so hard and it hooked me. Also, there is great lore in this movie involving the house and the ghosts in the house and things of that sort. Oh man, I'm pretty sure it's not real. I could be completely wrong. If all this lore is like made up for the house, then dude, that's fucking awesome, because that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Is as the night goes on, you find out more things about the house and the ghosts kind of haunting the house. I'm trying to be as spoiler free as I can. Of course, if you read the description, you're gonna see, oh, it's about a haunted house. People are gonna watch this movie, and there's going to be a part in this movie where 30 to maybe 40 minutes or so, there's going to be a part where this movie completely shifts in tone. All of a sudden, it becomes this slapstick, Evil Dead vibe fucking movie, and I loved it. There are like zombies or ghosts in the movies. I can't tell. I'm assuming they're ghosts, but they kind of just give off zombie-ish vibes. There's a lot of things done with such a little amount in this movie, with the practical effects, the setting of the movie, the story. Dude, I'm telling you, these people are taking found footage storytelling to a next level. And if you're watching this, Joseph and Vanessa Winters, man, fuck, thank you for putting a movie out there like this, because this was everything I want in a found footage movie, honestly. There are legit creepy moments. There's about 2 jump scares that I can recall that I was genuinely caught me off guard. And there's Maybe I'll save that one for the end. But yeah, there's two like jump scares in the movie that I genuinely just loved. Also, this movie is kind of gross, dude. And that's circling back to like the practical effects, the costume designs, you know, creature designs, things like that. Because there's a moment where there's just a lot of goo or like blood or something, and it's just like, oh, it is so abrupt and out of nowhere. Some of the dialogue in this movie, dude, oh man, like I hate to be gushing over this movie, but I just love this so much. And I've posted about it a couple of times, but I've been holding back a lot because I was saving everything for this video. I wanted to save all my excitement and all my joy for it because, man, this movie is just, it's gold. It is absolutely gold. From the style that it's being told, a screen life format, it's found footage, the story is revolving around this controversial, disgraced YouTuber. I love that angle. And let's talk about this guy really quick, because you're gonna watch this and I would not lie, my very first watch, up until later on, he grows on you. At first I was like, this guy's a little cringe, a little annoying. The way he screams, he's like, ah, throughout the night, dude. Oh man, you're gonna end up loving this dude. I think so. At least for me. I freaking love this character. And by the end, the very end, when he's kind of like just talking to his chat, near the end, I don't want to give too much away, is one of my favorite moments. So like I said, definitely recommend checking this found footage movie out. It's currently streaming on Shudder. Do yourself the favor and just give it a shot. Go in open-minded. Go in like, don't take it serious, okay? Just do not take the movie serious because it doesn't take itself seriously. So from here on out, we're probably going to be going into spoiler territory. I really enjoyed the other character in this movie, Melanie Stone. I think she goes by the name Chrissy.
My God! Oh my God! Sean, I love you so much.
She was just fun. She was energetic. I really enjoyed her. And then when you find out the little twist with her, it gets so good. She like, this girl embodies this fucking like ghost zombie role. And this is where I got most of my Evil Dead vibes, because the way she sounds, the way she talks, it reminds me of how they talk, like the possessed people talk with the high pitch, you know.
Why have you disturbed our sleep? Awakened us from our ancient...
4 of clubs, ace of spades. There's a lot of stunt work in this movie, and it's so good. Dude, this movie took a lot to make. Apparently, they filmed this like 2 years ago, too. Jeez, dude, the amount of fucking time it takes to make a movie is insane. And they had stunt people, they had makeup effects, everything, man. Love this movie. One of my favorite lines in this movie is near the end, where our dude kind of figures out, oh, that's another thing I actually want to touch up. I'll circle back to that. But the way they execute this movie, it's not your typical execution for a haunted house where, okay, we're gonna exorcise the demon and, you know, the spirits are gonna be free. No, it's such a good twist on it, because he perceives it as, the beginning we're told that Mildred is the name of the ghost. She's killing people in this house. There's been a bunch of deaths in the house, you know, throughout the years since she's died in the house. And she's collecting souls to build a family that she's never had. But by the end, we kind of figure out that she's super into poetry. She was going to marry some publisher. And actually, she's collecting like ghosts to build an audience for her shitty poetry. So my man kind of figures out, like, he like breaks it down in like YouTube terms. He's like, what would affect me? Like, it would affect her. And he starts talking about copy strikes. He starts talking about performing the ritual for himself and taking all her revenue, aka souls. It's so clever how they did that. I loved it. Back to one of my favorite lines, if not my favorite scene. It's such a small moment, dude, but I loved it so much. Near the end, he finally figures out what he has to do to overcome this ghost, to beat her. So he starts he's in the car or something, grabbing his equipment. You know, he's got a bunch of little like cameras and he sets them all up throughout the house. He puts one on his spear and he types in spear cam. There's a part when he's in the car and he grabs a beef jerky stick and he puts the fucking GoPro on there and he sticks out the window and he types in beef cam on his little laptop. But I digress. Let's get back to it. So yeah, he's setting up for this epic battle, right? And he goes into the house and he starts trying to reason with the ghost. And he's like, Mildred, believe me when I say I understand why you do what you do. You know, what he means is viewership, because he's a streamer and she's a ghost. He's kind of just trying to make it seem like they're the same thing. It's so clever the way they work that out, though. So he's saying, I understand why you do the things you do, but in the words of my manager, you've taken things too far, way too far. I fucking died, dude. Let's talk about one of my favorite jump scares in the movie. Probably the best scare in the movie is gonna be when he's hiding in the closet. You've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a part where he's talking to himself. As the movie's progressing, we're kind of finding out some of the controversies and what exactly happened, especially with the homeless dude. A lot of people were upset about that and him getting smuggled. He apparently paid some homeless dude to fight him, but the guy was super sick. Even though he signed a waiver, he ended up putting the guy in the hospital. He didn't think the guy was gonna beat him, or he didn't think he was gonna be able to beat the guy because he was so much bigger. I don't know, some dumb shit like that. So he obviously is dealing with that inside, and people are still bringing that up. He's in the closet, he's talking about it. He's like, I didn't do anything wrong. And all of a sudden you hear something, and he's got like a blanket over his legs, and he pulls the blanket over, and in between his legs is Mildred, and she's just like, guilty, and like just chomps on his dick. Another thing I really enjoyed before we get to the ending, which will be the last thing I talk about, was the interaction between his chat room. This is so good. I'm telling you, this felt just like I was watching a fucking live stream on Twitch. There are people like sending in videos saying, hey dude, I recognize that symbol that you freaking broke. It's this and that. We have like this guy that sends in a video with his grandma, which is one of the funniest parts in the movie too, when the grandma's like, oh yeah, that's a symbol for protection. The guy's like, well, grandma, he broke it. She's like, oh shit, he's gonna fucking die. At the very end, he ends up overcoming it, and he just like, he sets up his little table right there, and he puts on this little outro music, and he's like, one eye is just bashed in, he's bloody, he's like in his underwear only, or he's got a shirt on, and he just starts talking to his chat, and he's like, we did it, suck on that, Huffington Post. I want to dedicate this to the minorities. I'm getting a little emotional. Oh man, I could quote this movie. It's great. I absolutely love this movie. I just want to thank the people that made this movie, because it is so, to me, it felt so original, so creative, and it is a huge leap in found footage genre. And that's just my 2 cents. Happy Spookies. Let me know what you're dressing up for Halloween. I don't know. I just watched the Flintstones the other day, and I kind of want to be Fred Flintstone. Is that bad? Fucking John Goodman. You gotta love him. Happy Spookies.